Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? On the show yesterday, we went deep dive into the whole conversation about Michael Thomas, his tweet, and what the Saints' options are. And my contention is I've watched Sean Payton since 2006. Seeing Sean Payton since 2006, I know how he operates. He values locker room culture. We've seen him ship out guys. How many times over the years have you heard me run through the list? The ever-growing list. Brandon Cooks, first-round pick. Closed mouths don't get fed. Gone. Jimmy Graham. The whole free agent conversation around his franchise tag, wide receiver, tight end, that battle. Gone. Kenny Stills. Junior Gillette. You'll know the list. If you're a bad locker room guy, you're gone. So the Michael Thomas situation in and of itself is bad enough, but then when he took to Twitter to do what he did, for me, I look at that and I go, I know what Sean's going to do. Sean's a pissed off teenager. He's going to run him out. So I hope, and to be clear, I hope he doesn't. That's my contention. I want them to mend this fence with Michael Thomas, to get his ankle right, and to get back on the field and be one of the best receivers in the NFL for the New Orleans Saints. That's what I want. I'm not sure that that's very likely anymore. So the Saints have a decision to make. Are you committed to winning now, or are you understanding with all the personnel losses that you've had, you're building for the future? Your window is closed with this core. Now, you've invested in some of these guys. Obviously, you invested in Ryan Ramczyk. You've invested in Alvin Kamara. You're likely going to invest in Marcus Williams after this season. You got some decisions to make. Teron Armstead, Marshawn Lattimore, what do you do? But Michael Thomas right now is a gigantic albatross hanging around this team's neck. Financially, emotionally, everything. And you have to decide what you're going to do here. And it's interesting because now we see reports that CJ Henderson is being shopped by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported that multiple league executives believe the Jaguars have made Henderson available. And Pro Football Focus's Doug Kyed is reporting that Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke, they would be willing to unload Henderson, quote, if they can get a haul, end quote. Now, what does a haul mean? That's a big question, and that would certainly determine whether or not the Saints would be willing to do anything like this. But let's look at this possibility here as we play it out. First of all, would you trade for CJ Henderson? If you're the Saints, the answer is absolutely, unequivocally, positively yes. You want this player. Jeff Duncan of the New Orleans Advocate reported that the Saints are looking for trade partners across the league, including the Jaguars, targeting CJ Henderson. So a little background on Henderson. We all know him. CJ Henderson went to Florida. He was awesome there. Last year, he was the 9th overall pick in the 2020 draft, but he had a couple of injuries. He had a groin injury. He had a labrum surgery in the summer and ended up only playing 8 games in his rookie year. That doesn't mean that he won't be a stud lockdown corner. I believe, like many do, that he will be that guy. So do you want a player like that? Absolutely. If you're the Saints financially, you love this because CJ Henderson is on a rookie deal. He's in the second year of a rookie contract. So when you look at CJ Henderson's cap hits, this year it's $4.6 million. Next year it's $5.5 million. The following year it's $6.5 million. It is a very, very, very manageable cap hit to have a superstar player. That's the benefit of hitting in the draft when you have capped rookie contracts, because you have great players relatively inexpensively. That was why the Saints had such a huge advantage when they hit on Michael Thomas and Marshawn Lattimore and Marcus Williams and Ryan Ramczyk and Alvin Kamara. You had these superstar players all on bargain basement rookie deals, especially the guys that were outside of round one. So being that you have 3 years and the option for the first round draft picks 5th year option, CJ Henderson is an affordable option in the short term, and it's at a position of great need. So yes, you want him. The question is, what are you willing to give up for him? And that's where the Saints really have to decide. Are you playing for the now, or are you playing for the future? Because if you're playing for the now, then you're willing to give up picks for CJ Henderson. You're not worried about future assets. You want to make your team better with personnel immediately. So you'd be willing to send them this year's 1, maybe 2 1s or whatever, so 1 and a 2, whatever it would take to make that deal done. Now, Urban Meyer wants a haul. What realistically do you think you're going to get for a guy that's played 8 career games? Not as much as a team should get for a guy that's been an all-pro and set the NFL record for receptions in a season. You know, when I went into this, I started thinking you can't just do a player-for-player swap with Michael Thomas and CJ Henderson. And then I started to think more and more about it. I'm like, why couldn't you? As a matter of fact, if you're the Saints, you should get more than just CJ Henderson. Now, I don't know if Jacksonville will be down for that, but hear me out. Michael Thomas is an all-pro. One of the best receivers in the game. When healthy, and I get he's got this head case reputation now of late, but he's an all-pro. And the Saints would have to eat $32 million over the next 2 seasons. $10 million this year and $22 million in dead cap money next year. Now, the Saints have shown they don't really care about the salary cap, and they'll just find a way to make it work. But that's still a massive hurdle to clear when you're saying I'm going to eat $22 million next year if you trade Michael Thomas. We talked about this yesterday. But you'd be letting go of an all-pro and taking a massive cap hit if you trade off Michael Thomas. And if all you got was CJ Henderson, you're basically trading a proven asset for a hope, for a guy that's got great potential but hasn't lived up to it yet. Only played in 8 career games. The benefit to New Orleans, as we mentioned, you get a dynamic player at a position of need. It buys you time with Marshawn Lattimore as well. This would be the difference from a Xavier Howard deal. Had they done a deal with Xavier Howard, Howard also wanted a contract extension. So you were going to have to not only give picks to get Xavier Howard, you were also going to have to give him a massive deal, which basically meant you weren't going to sign Marshawn Lattimore to a long-term deal. Well, if you make a deal for CJ Henderson, he could play out his rookie deal, and you can sign Lattimore to a long-term deal. You could have both players, theoretically. So that's the benefit. Yes, you're getting an unproven player, but you're getting a player with a lot of talent and upside at a cost-effective price. If I'm New Orleans, I'm going into that thinking, I want more than just C.J. Henderson. I don't care that you gave up the 9th pick to draft this guy. That's not my problem. I have an asset that's 27 years old and has actually produced at this level. Yes, you're taking on his contract, but I'm giving you a proven asset for your first-round draft pick, number 1 overall quarterback. And oh, by the way, Michael Thomas's college coach, Urban Meyer. So it's a very real tie there. And that's a deal that I would do. I would trade Michael Thomas for C.J. Henderson and probably a mid-round pick. I don't know that you're getting C.J. Henderson in a 1, but could I get C.J. Henderson in a 3 or a 4 for Michael Thomas? I would do that deal. I don't know if that's the haul that the Jacksonville Jaguars want for C.J. Henderson, but that's a deal that I would absolutely be willing to do because it offsets financially the dead cap money that you'd have to eat with Michael Thomas. It answers one of the most glaring position needs you have on your roster at boundary corner. And it also, because of how early C.J. Henderson is in his rookie deal, allows you the opportunity to potentially keep Marshawn Lattimore as well. And so you have Lattimore and Henderson as boundary corners. 2 first-round draft picks at corner. I like that deal and I'd do it. As much as it pains me, it would pain me to see the Saints sever ties with Michael Thomas because of how dynamic he is and how all-time great he can be. If that's where the Saints are and they're playing for the now, I would do that deal. If they decide they're playing for the future and they want to send Michael Thomas away, it's not going to be Jacksonville. Because if you're going to trade Thomas, then you're going to trade him for picks that you can build for the future. This is ultimately on New Orleans. Are they playing for the now or are they playing for the future? Me, I always want to win. And I think Sean Payton always wants to win. But realistically, when you look at this roster, this is a team that's probably a 500 team. They continue to see their roster just degraded. Now, when they're healthy, when they get Thomas back, and when they get Onyemata back, and if they have Harris and Lattimore and everybody back healthy, yeah, I mean, I think they're a team that could be a 10-win team and sneak into the playoffs. But is that enough? Does that make you a contender? It's in the NFL, all you need to do is get in, get your shot. But it certainly doesn't feel good. Hey, man, I said for years, hardest thing in the world to get in the NFL is a quarterback. And when you have one, you ride it till the wheels fall off, man. And the Saints did that with Drew Brees. I mean, they rode it till he was over 40 years old with broken ribs and collapsed lung. They did. I mean, they rode it until the wheels fell off. And now you're in this defining role of what the next chapter of your organization is going to be. And do you feel like you still have a core ready to compete? If not, tear it down, man. As much as it sucks because this team has been in contender mode for 15 years, it might be time. But whatever they decide to do with Michael Thomas, and if they actually make a move for CJ Henderson, they'll tell you exactly what the Saints are looking at doing.